Are these real questions that people ask, or are you just wanting to find out information? And you guys are using the cover. This is not.
Today is Q&A day, and I have here pages of questions.
What's the hardest part about working with Shay?
The business never turns off.
At the end of the day, we're partners in so many aspects in life. We had to like kind of separate all those and still like each other.
All of a sudden you spend all morning, all day, and all evening talking about work, and it's really hard to shut it off. If you're on a really tight budget, I think that cabinetry is a place that you can save a lot of money. Custom cabinetry is beautiful, but also really expensive. So I'd say go with a semi-handmade or an IKEA, and then go with a simple, affordable backsplash, but then splurge on the jewelry in the kitchen. So really great faucet and hardware and lighting. I don't think white kitchens are trendy necessarily, but I think it's what you add to the white kitchen that makes it trendy. Are you using the same lights and hardware and faucet that every single other person out there is using? That's what makes it trendy. I'm asked this all the time. I think it depends on the space and the feeling that you are going for. But if I had to pick my favorite crisp white, it would be Chantilly Lace by Benjamin Moore. I love Simply White for the perfect soft white. And then kind of a creamy white, I love Swiss Coffee or White Dove. I personally gravitate towards honed because I love that it has kind of a more textural and just natural, casual look. But if you're going for a little bit more glam, I don't know, a polished is really pretty too. When mixing metals, I wouldn't use more than 3 different tones in a space, and I wouldn't mix my brasses and I wouldn't mix my silver tones. You really need to like make sure that there is a stark difference. So you're mixing silver and brass, silver and black, and I keep the levels consistent. So all of my hardware will be the same, and then I would switch up the faucet or switch up the lighting. I don't think that those are a trend because I think that it's nice to mix colors, and whether you're doing an island or you're doing the uppers and lowers different, I don't think that that is a trendy look. I think that the colors that you select on the two-tone, that's what could take it trendy if you're not doing really kind of safe neutrals. 10-foot ceilings are kind of the max that we take a cabinet up to meet the ceiling, and then anything above that, we stop them at about 10 feet and then have open space above the cabinetry. No. Regardless of the shape of your living room, always figure out where your sofa and coffee table go first, and then you'll be able to arrange the seating around that. I think the thing about TVs is that yes, they're ugly, but they are something that you need. So whenever we have to incorporate them into a room, we try to make everything else look really great so that the TV fades away. Custom built-ins are my favorite ways to incorporate a TV, because if you want doors, you can do doors, or you can just hide it by doing a dark back to them and make it an opportunity to style around it. I don't think it's a faux pas to put it over a fireplace. That said, sometimes putting it over the fireplace makes it really high, and so you have to like kind of crane your neck to see them. So if we can put it on the side of the fireplace in a built-in, I think that that's a great option. I say go with leather, a leather that doesn't scratch easily, and then also there are Krypton fabrics and Sunbrella and all sorts of outdoor materials that repel stains better than a natural linen or velvet. The toys in our house are only hidden when we take pictures and when we have friends come over. The reality is that we have toys out, but I keep a lot of baskets in our shelves, and I even have a big one under the coffee table that I then stuff everything into. I think you should buy the best couch your money can buy, and then I would do all of my accents on the cheap. So little side tables and things like that definitely go lower end. Lighting, I can see the difference between cheap lighting and nice lighting, and it drives me crazy, so I say splurge on a good lamp, but then maybe find a more affordable coffee table. I think you should choose one style that is the more dominant style and then the other as an accent. So if you lean a little bit more traditional, but you want it to be a balance of traditional and modern, say you go with a traditional sofa, coffee table, rug, and then you mix in a modern lamp, a side table, and then maybe a few accessories, and then all of a sudden it feels a little fresher than just traditional everything. So when you have an L-shaped sofa, I like to do a round to break up all of those angular lines. I think you need to pay attention to what other shapes are happening in the room and then choose something different so that it doesn't feel too boxy or everything feels too round. When you have two sofas facing each other, it's better to have a rectangular coffee table. You know, I don't like a set of bedroom furniture, so it's important to break up the wood tones, but you also need to pay attention to the contrast of the wood tones. So if you go with a light wood nightstand, don't go with a different but also light wood dresser, go with something more saturated so there's some contrast. I like to assess the textiles that are already selected in the space. So what are the pillows like on the bed? What's my bedding? Do I have a throw that has a pattern on it? And then make that decision with my drapes. Do I pull a color from the textile? Do I just go with white because I'm trying to keep it really serene? But you do need to make the choice if you want blackouts or privacy. I put beds in front of windows if the room calls for it. So sometimes the best layout for the flow of the space means that we need to put a bed in front of a window. And if we do that, I like to make sure that the bed is a little bit lower in height so we don't block all of the light. I always use a bed frame or a headboard because I think it makes a room look more finished. So if you have a queen or a king size bed, I like to do 26-inch shams and then a long lumbar in front of that. That's a no-fail combination, but there's all sorts of things that you can do. You could do just one long lumbar, you could do two 26-inch pillows and then a lumbar and then put like a 20-inch in front of that. But then if you have a smaller, like a full or a twin, you're looking at like a 22-inch pillow, like either two 22s on a full or just one pillow or lumbar on a twin bed. If you're on a budget, I'd say look at your bathroom and decide what is the worst thing about this bathroom. Fix that first, and then paint your cabinetry because that's always a quick fix. I think this is a trend that isn't necessarily a trend, but we're seeing a lot of right now, and that's wall-mounted faucets, and I really love them. Match at least two finishes and then give your eye a rest somewhere. So if you're matching your light to your faucet and hardware, then switch it up on your mirror. Or do your faucet and your light the same, but switch up your hardware. It depends on the pattern. I think that there are hex shapes and basket weaves that will never go out of style, especially if it's a classic material. Cement pattern tile, yeah, I mean, I think we all know it's a little trendy, but it's really great, and sometimes trends are good. That said, I think a painted terracotta tile that has a pattern will never go out of style. If your bathroom feels dark and it's a powder bathroom, I say just capitalize on that and make it feel like a moody powder bathroom. But if it's a bathroom that you're using every single day, I would try to make it lighter and do all of the materials light. I love art in the bathroom, especially in that blank spot above a toilet or sometimes like above hooks. We get rid of a lot of medicine cabinets because I don't like the way they look. That said, the ones that are built into the wall and look like your actual mirror there's some good options out there. Towels take up a lot of space underneath cabinetry, and so if you're limited, I'd say do a train rack above your toilet and then you can stack the towels there and then that frees up space in your vanity.